Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story, which comes from get-a-lifee from the Am I Wrong and Relationship Advice subreddit and says, told my wife, female 35, that she couldn't do it without me, male 34. Turns out she can. My wife and I don't fight much, and when we do fight, we usually communicate well afterwards and things go back to normal. I brag to my friends about how reasonable my wife is, and her ability to communicate and empathize is something I deeply admire. She doesn't hold grudges. She talks me through my rough times. Until now. Due to a fire, my wife is out of work but still earning her salary. Thanks insurance. We decided she would stay home with our young son while out of work. She doesn't love child rearing, which is something we knew going into having kids. Honestly, it's hard to tell. She's a great mum, present and loving, even when I see she's struggling inside. I give my wife a lot of breaks. We co-parent, split bedtime routines for our two kids. We both pull our weight. Yesterday was a snow day. My daughter was home with my wife and son. I was working from home downstairs all day. I helped my daughter with cyber school until noon. My wife was with my son in the snow all morning, plowing the drive and sidewalks, etc., maintaining the house. My daughter joined them, and from the sound of things and some videos, she brought her friends over for playing and hot chocolate. I worked until around 5, and when I went upstairs, it was chaos. My wife was doing laundry and helping my daughter, who fell and hurt herself on the ice. She sent home the friends and we had dinner. I did the cleanup, and right after finishing, keep in mind I've been downstairs working all day, not even a bathroom break after noon. I go into the playroom and my wife approaches me. It goes like this. She says, "Hey, can I go lay down for a bit?" There may be offense. I admit I made a face and I said, "I haven't gone to the bathroom all day and I put cookies in the oven." I can tell I messed up just by the face she gave me. She said, "Fine, never mind, forget I asked, heaven forbid." Now I'm sensing some attitude and I know I've misstepped here. So I say, "No, it's fine, I'll take care of it all, go take a break." To my complete shock, in front of our kids, who I admit aren't paying us much attention, but are still close, my wife says, "I said never fucking mind. Been running around on my feet all day watching our kids and other people's kids, and heaven fucking forbid I asked for 20 minutes to myself." I again say, "Go take a break, I told you it was fine." But she's clearly lost her marbles and is seeing red. She starts cleaning up and helping with the kids, and I do too. I tried to overcompensate, but she just took over caring for them and they listened to her. In the hall I said, "I think you forget I work all day," and she viciously says, "Thanks for reminding me. I almost forgot." I feel like an ass. I get that she works hard caring for the kids, but I work hard too. I think not having a job and escape is making her reaction to this fight worse. She texted me the next day with her usual communication. She expressed how upset she felt with my behavior and the way I acted towards her. She said when she was feeding and taking care of 6 kids all day in the snow alone, and still cleaned the entire house and deep cleaned our craft room. I explained that I'm stressed at work and that I didn't get why she's so upset since I offered her a break, and she said, "I don't want your pity breaks." She ended it with, "Thanks for the apology by the way." Which yeah, I didn't exactly apologize, but for what? And then she asked for the number to my daughter's piano teacher. The piano teacher was the only activity that I managed for my kids. I found out she texted her, asking to go through my wife from now on, as she'll be managing the schedule. Normally my wife would text me asking if I can get my daughter from dance on my way home yesterday. I do this every week. I didn't hear anything, and when I got home, I found out my wife dropped and picked her up. I confronted my wife with, "I am very present with my children, do not make me out to be an absent father." My wife responded with, "If I didn't manage and ask for your help, you'd see them a quarter of the time you do now, and I'm done managing you." I get it. I should have just smiled and agreed when she asked for help, but this is extreme. She's having a fit and trying to ice me out of my relationship with my kids. It's so petty. It's like I don't even know this woman. Gone is the reasonable level-headed communicator. So If you've made it this far, thank you. And please, please tell me if I'm wrong here. Now this one, I think you're absolutely wrong in this. It sounds like, she's been taking the mental load, if you like, for a while now. And this particular fight is what just pushed it over the edge. And, she's had enough of it. You went through all the list about how you co-parent and everything's split and you both pull your weight. But then you were saying stuff like, even though it's like part of your routine to pick your child up collect your daughter from dance, you have to be reminded to do it every single week. And a weird thing that I found about it, I'm not sure if I read it wrong, but because you didn't hear anything, you just went home and found out your wife dropped and picked her up. You never went to the place anyway to collect her. You just went straight home. I found that a bit weird. But again, I may have misread that. And clearly there's a lot more going on below the surface because, her response to you saying, if I didn't manage and ask you for help, you'll see them a quarter of the time you do now. And I'm done managing you. And the conversation that you had in the middle there, it clearly felt like it was just passive aggressive. When she asked to go lay down for a bit, you made a face and said, I haven't gone to the bathroom all day. And then which I found really weird, is that you said, and I put cookies in the oven. I mean, what? And you make out that she's clearly, like you said, losing her marbles and seeing red in this situation, and you're telling her to go take a break. But like it even comes across in text form that it sounds like she said, like not even pity, but it's just like, fine, go and take a break kind of thing. And then you responded with at the very end saying, I think you forget I work all day, which pretty much just says it all about the conversation, doesn't it? Like I said, though, there's clearly far more going on, and it feels like this is just the tip of everything, something that sent it over the edge. So there was some replies from the OP. On OP taking the initiative and giving the wife a break, OP says, you're 100% right. I normally do say that. She asked me for a break at least 3 times a week to take a bath or go read, and I almost always immediately say yes. It was just an off moment, and I know I reacted poorly, but she's completely trying to ice me out. I had to argue with her this morning just to let me take my kids to school because she said she'd do it. And the kids just went along clinging to her, and when I pushed back, my kids started crying for her. She had to calm him down and insist going with dad is fun, just to undo what she did. He was fine going with me, but it's messy and so unnecessary. I'm scared with her behavior. I love my wife and I don't want to push her away. Some more information on the wife's schedule, and OP says, my wife has 2 days during the week without my son or daughter. She's been painting the house and deep cleaning. My son has gone from 8 to 2 and my daughter 9 to 3, Monday and Friday both. I think the snow day broke her, but hopefully she'll come around and be sensible. I've never known her to ice me out or stop communicating, and it's freaking me out. It's a little bit why I think there is more to this fight. And I'll give you a couple of the comments just for a cheeky little gist of it all. Kitchen Victory 7964 says, and quotes OP saying, she's having a fit and trying to ice me out of my relationship with my kids, and then says, you have that backwards. She's been trying to prevent you from icing yourself out of a relationship with your kids, and now she's done putting in that effort. Seriously, why the ever-loving Slarty Bart fast? I may have totally pronounced that wrong. It's a character from The Hitchhiker's Guide. But they continue, does she need to remind you every week to pick up your daughter after dance? Why? Did it not occur to you to use the calendar on that spiffy smartphone you no doubt own and set an ongoing reminder for the pickups? That's a pretty strong indicator you seriously don't care about spending any mental energy on your family and expect your wife to be your personal secretary. You're not her boss, and she's also not your servant. You are in fact supposed to be her partner, not another child for her to manage. It's definitely not about the Iranian yogurt. Edit, yes, you are wrong. The icing on the cake was throwing around a childish expression after she told you she needed a break from the kids. Absolutely brilliant work there. And one more comment from Senor Poopus, lovely name, who says, if she said she's done managing you, that means she feels like you are adding to her stress, and it's easier and less stressful for her to do things on her own without asking you. That's not a good sign, but it's fixable. Perhaps you need to take the initiative and know what's going on, what needs to be done without her having to ask you or interact with you about it. Yes, you work all day, but it's not helpful to highlight that. You're fueling the idea that this is a competition, and it likely inspires resentment when you do that. For example, when she asked you about going to lie down, you could have just said, okay, but first, can you give me a few minutes to go to the bathroom? So OP comes back in with her updates around a week later and says, I made one stupid selfish comment to my wife a week or so ago and now my life is in disarray. My wife is in some crisis. Her work is closed and she's being paid, but she's home with our kids now, including one 3-year-old. She gets breaks on Monday and Friday with childcare. We went into having kids knowing she wanted to be a working mother. So this has been an adjustment, to say the least. On to the ongoing fight. She spent a long day with our kids and the neighboring kids, and when I came upstairs from work and she asked for a break, I didn't respond well. I made excuses and didn't offer help, and for the first time in years, my wife lost her temper and cursed at me. Like an idiot, I dug in and thought I was right. I admit we both said some unkind things, but after Reddit humbled me and she made me sit down and write a list of things I did for the family that day and compared it with her, longer list, I apologized. She accepted and figured things would go back to normal. They haven't. My wife used to include me in parenting our kids. I did dance pickup most weeks and bedtime was split. I gave baths, made dinner, all the stuff. Since our fights, my wife hasn't asked me for any help with the kids. The first morning I woke up on what was supposed to be my morning with the kids, I figured she was just being nice or trying to prove a point, but it keeps happening. She didn't even send them down to say goodnight last night. Normally my wife does the silly game where she sends my son to ask me to read 5 books, and then we would negotiate down to 1 or 2 and race upstairs. Last night I heard her racing him and came up to find her doing bedtime yet again. The kids haven't even noticed. It's like she's replacing me. When we were fighting, I said something really dumb that's living inside me and festering. My wife was being nasty and said, "You wouldn't see the kids a quarter as much as you do if I didn't arrange it and I'm done managing you." I defended myself. I'm not an absent parent and said something along the lines of, "I'd like to see how long you manage without me." Consider my foot officially in my mouth. She started running again. She's cooking really healthy and often. Every night I come home to my perfectly happy Stepford wife, doing it all without me, and I feel empty inside. How do I fix this? I don't even know where to begin. At this point, I want to beg her to go back to how things were. This wasn't what we agreed on. Now, I don't know if this feels like an unfair comment to say because I'm not in that position, etc., but I feel like the information is all there that you to act on it. You've even quoted it again in your update saying, quoting your wife saying that she's done managing you, but then you went on to say that, normally my wife does this silly game where she's trying to get you involved with your son, but you're waiting for it again rather than, getting yourself involved, etc. Sure, apologizing is one thing, but you've basically been told what the issue is, and I think you need to act on that. But usually Right says, I don't know, step up, get involved without her organizing it or instructing you. Are you really this daft? Opie says it's difficult when they prefer her, and she seems to do everything better than me. I work often as well. It helps to have her give me a heads up on the plan with the kids, but I'm getting now that maybe that's done and over with. Someone else says to Opie about basically doing more, and Opie says, I'm fucking confused, okay? I have this perfect life with an amazing successful wife and a great job. We juggle 2 careers and 2 kids like champions, always communicating who is where, doing what activity, working together to manage the American dream of doing it all. And my wife's job burns down and she's home all the time doing everything. She gets stressed and we fight, and now she's totally different. I don't give a fuck about warm meals and a Stepford wife. I want my wife, my partner, my teammate, and yes, my fucking manager back. She was amazing, and now I managed to fuck it up like always by sticking my foot in my mouth. She's still perfect, only now I know she's not doing what she wants and that I have failed her in some way that seems to have broken her, or maybe fixed her. I don't know, like I said, I'm confused and apparently an idiot. Someone says to Opie about maybe his wife just wants an equal partner, and Opie says, you won't believe me anyways. I've been with my wife since we were kids, 15 or 16. I know this woman. She loved doing it all and she was amazing at it. She always bragged about being a working mum, but she never put down women that stayed home. Her mother was a stay-at-home mum that got married super young. My wife didn't want that life. We used to joke about her earning more than me so I could stay home. She never complained about the kids' schedule either. She did drop-offs at daycare and I did pickups. We had a rhythm and flow. I think not being home during the day with them made her soak in the time at night more than maybe I did. I don't know, but I honestly think she was happy. And Opie explains his wife's work schedule. Opie says, "My wife works with animals and makes her own schedule. She can schedule days off whenever, so she is more flexible. She's home to take the kids into daycare and I would pick them up and drop them at my mum's and my wife would get them around 4. She does not need to work. I pay the majority of the bills. My wife's job earns less, but that doesn't make it less worthy. She actually affects the world. I just type at the computer all day and deal with air emissions. My wife works to pay for daycare. It's her big expense. I do mortgage and everything else, and she also uses her money to buy stuff. She has full access to my account and often transfers money when low. I do not have access to her account. It's a personal boundary of my wife's that she always has her own private money. I don't need or want that myself, so she manages most of the finances. My wife has traumas around being stuck as a homemaker and baby maker." Opie added one final edit/update if you like. The first one said, "Fuck it guys, I get it. I'm a piece of shit. I'm going to make this right." Edit 2, "Thank you to the handful of people that reached out with advice. Believe it or not, I do want to be a good father and husband. I've royally fucked up and I see that and fully admit it. This is going to be my only edit and then I'm going to get off my phone for a while and focus my attention on my family. My wife had dinner cooked when I got home. Everything is fine between us, so there wasn't any tension. After we cleaned up, I went upstairs and ran my wife a bath, put Taylor Swift on her Alexa and lit a few candles. I told her to go relax upstairs for the night. She was surprised but smiled and went on her way. I'm currently on the toilet watching my kids take a bath. People mention love bombing, etc. I'm just trying anything I can to show I appreciate and love her and our family, and I want to be a present father. I'm going to do bedtime tonight and probably all next week. I'll tell her she does so much during the day and deserves the break because it's the truth. I get that I come off as an arsehole. I grew up in a not great situation and didn't have the best role models growing up. I'm terrified of my children not having enough and I overcompensate by working too much. This new job came with a big pay increase, but the hours are longer and I feel like I can never keep up. I've reached out to a few recruiters tonight. I used to love my job and always home by 4:30. Even if it means taking the lost income, I'm thinking about going back. Relationships are hard and humans aren't perfect. For all the people telling me my kids don't love me and I'm a waste of space, I don't know guys, just remember I'm an actual person. That's just rough. Anyways, that's all I have for you folks. I need to watch these kiddos and start planning out my long road of groveling and reconnecting. Thanks all. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? What do you think of that outcome and self-reflection from Opie at the very end there? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to one more little story from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit. It doesn't have an update, but I saw the title and I'm sorry, but I chuckled. It's from CatboyInAMaidOutfit who says, "Am I the arsehole because I laughed when my mum told me her Roomba fell into the pool." That image, it just makes me chuckle. I'm on the phone with her as she's in her winter residence in Florida, Snowbird, and telling me that she was cleaning her house and left the screen door open. Where are you going with this? Because my mum kind of rambles a bit with stories that go nowhere. And then she says the Roomba was missing and she found it in the bottom of the pool. That completely caught me off guard and I'm howling with laughter. And my mum is like, "It's not funny, that's a $400 machine." And somehow that made it even funnier. And she's not making it easy for me because she's describing that apparently it didn't die right away. And for a minute, the little brush things were still going around like it was trying to dog paddle its way out of there. So my mum is angry that the Roomba wasn't built with some sort of safety device in case it falls into the water, like flotation bags. And are supposed to pop out of it like chitty chitty bang bang or something. And at this point, I'm in literal tears from laughing so hard. So, mum's angry. The Roomba is dead, and I'm probably not invited to Easter dinner. I remember seeing a video of someone's Roomba, it's just sort of wandering outside, doing a bit of cleaning outside on the path, and eventually falling in the pool, and it floats around for a bit, and then it just sinks, and I don't know why. That had me in absolute bits when I first saw it. It's just, I don't know why. But you're not the asshole to be in this situation. I would have laughed as well. And let's face it, you're not laughing at that she's lost something with a large monetary value. You're not laughing that she's got a damaged product. You're not laughing at her as say, but the whole scene itself, like my mind goes places when I read these stories and I see scenes of things and I have to pause and I have to like wipe my eyes and stuff because sometimes it's just like, it's something you see in a movie, you know. And like that video I saw on YouTube of this Roomba just sort of like wandering outside doing its own thing, like it's got a mind of its own and then just donk in the pool it goes. Oh, it just cracks me up. I had an idea, but smart ass mouth already had the idea and said, not the arsehole, let her be angry and send a condolences note for the dead Roomba. Edit by a new Roomba for Easter saying it has been resurrected. Its name, Jesus, it's seen the light. Opie says that's a good idea. I could send flowers with a little Hallmark card. They make for people who lost a beloved pet or something. I'm going to get to work on that. Stinky Kitty replies to that and says, my heartfelt condolences on the loss of your Roomba. While this situation sucks, little Roomby won't have to anymore. He's rolling with the homies in heaven. I've started a collection to assist with the adoption fees for a replacement. Hands to heart and eyes to heaven, we all know he could never truly be replaced. Hopefully we can pool our funds and help out. Conquered all of Europe says not the arsehole, lol. Oh man. I'm trying not to laugh, but picturing a Roomba doing a doggy paddle is too much. And your mum thinking they should have built-in floaties? Priceless. It's like expecting a vacuum to turn into a boat. I totally get why you cracked up. It's not really about the Roomba or the cost, it's just such a bizarre sitcom-worthy moment. Sometimes life throws these weird curveballs that are just plain funny. But hey, maybe to smooth things over with your mum, you could send her a funny card like a sorry for your Roomba's unexpected swimming lesson or something, or even better get a tiny life jacket for her next Roomba as a gag gift. Could be a hit at Easter dinner, you know. P.S. Farewell, brave little Roomba. You paddled valiantly. All I can picture now is a Roomba going around with like, you know, the googly eyes wobbling around everywhere and a little life jacket on at the same time. Oh, dearie me. But the comments were pretty much the same. It was voted a not the arsehole in this situation. I mean, come on now. Weird question on the back of this though. Are Roombas actually any good? I've never looked at a review. I've always seen them and I always thought, are they actually good? Do they actually clean up a lot or are they just a pain in the ass and get in the way everywhere? Let us know your thoughts if you got one. And anyway, just a huge thank you for joining me today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It's just absolutely amazing. Thank you so, so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day.